What is going on YouTube? Today we're going to be taking a look at my new to me 2020 Honda Grom and what to look out for when buying a used motorcycle. Stay tuned. Like I said, this is a new to me 2020 Honda Grom. I picked it up off of Facebook Marketplace. It was a couple hours away, but luckily I was the first guy to message the seller, which is how fast you have to jump on these deals that you see on Marketplace. You got to have cash in hand and you got to be ready to jump on it. I asked him a couple questions and everything seemed to check out. The pictures looked good, price was right, and we set up a time for me to drive out there and take a look at the bike. Now, when you go to look at a used motorcycle, there's a couple things you want to look out for, and I'm going to go through my list and what I like to do when I go to pick up a new bike. By far, the most important thing is to check the title and make sure that the VIN matches the title and the VIN on the bike. You don't want to be buying a stolen bike. Almost every bike has the VIN here. If you turn the wheel, you can see that one right there. So you want to compare that to the VIN on the title and make sure that they match 100%. This might seem kind of crazy, but another thing I like to do is make sure that the keys all line up. I went to go look at a bike with my one buddy once, and there were 3 different keys and none of them matched. The key to the gas tank was different from the ignition key. It was kind of sketchy, so we walked away. I told him this is already a bad idea before we even went any further. Now that we confirmed that the bike is not stolen, we're gonna go take a look at it. I always like to touch the exhaust, make sure that it's cold, so that when you start it, you know that it's a cold start. It's understandable if it was warm, if the guy just pulled it out of the shed and wanted to take it down the street for the last time. It's not a huge red flag, but me personally, I like to start a bike cold to make sure there's no red flags in the initial cold startup. Now, before you even start it up, you wanna look all around the motor, make sure there's no leaks, check under it, make sure there's no oil. Obviously, there shouldn't be any sitting on the ground either, but just give it a good look over both sides, make sure there's no oil anywhere that there shouldn't be. Also, pull the dipstick and check the oil before you start it up and make sure that there's some oil in there. I also look for any kind of aftermarket parts to check to see if they were installed properly. This bike just came with an exhaust, some aftermarket levers, this little mirror, and these turning signals, which one of them was a little loose, but that's an easy fix. I just got to take this little plastic fender piece off and tighten it up. Now, obviously, this is a Grom, so there shouldn't be a crazy amount of aftermarket work done, although there are a lot of them out there that do have a lot of aftermarket work done. So just be careful, especially if you're looking at a bigger bike, if it was tuned, if it has a full exhaust, if it's totally done up in aftermarket work, you might want to be careful with purchasing a bike like that. Now, if any work was done to it and they claim they have paperwork of all the work that was done to it, actually ask for that paperwork, confirm, get that paperwork, make sure that everything checks out. Next thing I always do is run my finger along the forks. You don't want there to be any oil or anything like that. Could mean that your fork seals are going bad, and that's not a good sign. Might mean they were doing wheelies and coming down really hard on the forks. Take a look at the brakes, both the front and the rear. Look at the pads. You want there to be a decent amount of pad left on the pads, and look at the rotor, look at the disc, make sure it's not warped. Check the tires for even wear. If there are threads showing in the middle, they were probably doing burnouts, and that's not a good sign. Now you want to get on the bike and test the brakes. Front brake, rear brake. They both seem to be stopping how they're supposed to be. Time for the test drive. Start up the bike, let it warm up a little bit, take a look at the motor again, look for any oil leaks or anything like that. Get on the bike, throw it in gear, and take it around the block. Some people are weird about that and they want to see cash in hand, which I totally understand. You don't want somebody just joyriding your bike when you're trying to sell it. But if you're going to look at the bike, you're a serious buyer anyway, so you should have cash in hand. Try shifting through all the gears, make sure that your clutch is catching properly, and make sure that the throttle is smooth and there's no jerkiness or anything like that. Also, while you're at speed, you want to test those brakes again. When you get back from the test drive, you want to look at the motor a third and final time for that final check to make sure there's no leakage. If everything checks out and you want to take the bike home, you need to make sure that the title is notarized. If it's not notarized, if it's not signed over, I know different states have different laws. Look into your local laws for title, notary, and signing it over and everything like that, because you don't want to be running into any issues with the title, because if they have your money, you have the bike, but they have the title, it's technically still their bike. So look out for that. Congrats on your new bike. If you like this video, if you found it helpful at all, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what kind of bike you guys are going to look at in the comment section below. And if I missed anything, let me know what I missed and what you guys like to look out for. As always, take it easy out there.